Hello, everyone, and welcome to National Signing Day. This is GoLeopards.com. I'm Gary Laubach, along with John Leone and head coach Mike Jordan. As always, an exciting day for young men, always an exciting day for the head coach, and obviously an exciting day for two old announcers who love seeing some new blood come into the program. But Mike, before we start talking about your recruits, let's talk a little bit about Monday night's game against Miami. They were in the Elite Eight last year. At halftime last night, Lafayette 30, Miami 28. It really looked good until late in the ball game, and obviously the biggest problem seemed to be the inability to hit foul shots.
Yeah, we struggled a little bit from the line. It's hard to win a game when you shoot 37% from the free throw line. We just could knock them down. Something we got to get better at as a team. And we gave up a bunch of offensive rebounds, and you can't give a team like Miami, extra opportunities to score on you, because again, while we did a good job for most of the part of the game, there were some key moments where we just didn't execute the game plan properly. That's on me. That's on me. I gotta get us more to be more disciplined and to stay focused a little bit longer than we did. So we got to get in again better shape. And I think when we got tired down the stretch, those game slippage as Coach Jumper used to say, game slippage. We had game slippage down the end, forgetting to check out and things like that, and then not coming to the ball and getting a turnover and letting them get out and run in transition. So those are all fixable things, things that I need to work on to get our guys better.
John, I think everybody has to understand, however, the caliber of the competition that Coach Jordan's team went up against last night.
Yeah, that's what impressed me. The first time out, ACC opponent on the road. You got a couple of young guys out there. I was especially impressed with Josh Rivera. He set a tone early, getting to the rack real hard. That throwdown was something that got everybody's attention, of course. And a play like that can engender some confidence in a team. But Mike, to Gary's point about the offensive rebounding, it's always been, in the recent past anyway, a struggle of ours as a program. And I know that you went a little smaller. Justin was on the bench, and Justin isn't a big, powerful guy anyway. He's more finesse. But is that something that you can address, through coaching? Sometimes, man, the guys are just real athletic and they get up, and are there ways you can compensate for it?
Yeah, the way you compensate, for, again, not having the athleticism. And I think actually we were size-wise, I think we might have been bigger.
Right.
But we can't, it's difficult for us to match their athleticism. I think Kyle Jenkins and Josh Rivera are those type of athletes, but for the rest of our guys. So the way you combat that, is, you have to be fundamentally sound. You have to, again, play off 2 feet and use your pivots and use your fakes and things like that. And you got to make sure that your fundamentals are intact. And that's how you combat that, that type of athleticism. You have to be, you got to check out. You can't miss a check out, because you're not going to out jump anybody.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Yeah, absolutely.
So you got to do the little things in order to win a game like that. And we did it for most of the game, but when we didn't do it, they took advantage of it.
Yeah.
Mike, an exciting night for you. However, you got 4 really good guys, or 3 really good guys coming into the program. 2, you just went back home and grabbed them out of Philadelphia. But the other guy, how did you possibly find a Utah guy?
Well, you got to travel around. You got to travel around and look for talent and kids that you think will help the program and will benefit from a school like Lafayette. Ashton came to our elite camp, and he did both sessions, and I'm glad he stayed for the second session, because the second session is when he caught my eye the most. That was a more controlled session, and he caught my eye, and then I went out to watch him play, and at the Section 7 out in Arizona. And it just so happens that, every time I was watching another kid that I had to see, he was playing against him or he was on the court right next to him. So I got to see him a lot. And, you know, it's just a good fit. And Sean O'Brien, you know, had kept in contact with him at the camp and things like that. When I went out to Section 7, I saw him and he did a real good job. You know, he competes. He's going to do his Mormon mission and come to us in 25. So he'll be a little bit older, more mature. And I think as a coach, you want to, you know, it's nice to have some older guys on the team. As you can see this year, we're very young.
So just to clarify, I know he's doing a mission. So he will do that 2-year mission prior to coming to Lafayette, or will he
Yes,
get a year
yes.
in and then come? Or
No, he's gonna do his mission, his mission, and then he's gonna come to Lafayette. So he'll be in the class of 25, actually.
okay,
Yeah.
okay.
Mike, just to clarify, years ago, with the dark ages, we had a Mormon kid come, David Frank from up in Glens Falls. He came for a year and then left for his mission.
Oh wow, okay.
Yeah, and I don't know if that has changed or not. That surprised me when I heard Ashton was going to do the mission first, and then which is better continuity wise. I mean, I did not
for
like
sure,
the fact that he
for
was
sure.
here and left. But yeah,
Yeah, just and it helps us out scholarship wise as well. Because we'll have
Good point.
more for that that class of 25. The two other Mormon kids that I've coached, that I've had the pleasure of coaching at Colgate, they did the same thing. They went on their Mormon mission and they came to school after that.
I think it's time we take a look at the recruits. The first up will be Mark Butler. He's out of Philadelphia, as I mentioned. Mike didn't have to go too far to recruit him. Plays for a great high school program, Penn Charter High School. And John and Coach will take you through his highlights. Here is Mark Butler.
Yeah, well, you don't have to say a whole lot more than Penn Charter. The Interact League has long been you know, a top breeding ground for great players, great competitions, kids that can get it done academically and certainly on the court. But we've made our bones with GA. You know, it's so good to get a kid from Penn Charter finally, because those two teams have been elite in that conference. But this kid just has it all. I mean, he is so quick off the dribble. He's got a mid game. He can get to the rim. He's got a great handle. You know, I'm going to show you, Mike. I don't need to show you this, but this is the play that stood out to me. There's a pick and roll here where he orchestrates the pick and roll in a way that isn't taught. And they tell you to probe coming off a screen. And Gary, you're going to see what you mean by probe. You just never commit until it's time to commit. Here you're just seeing him beating people off the bounce, and he's so good at it. There's a little stagger dribble. He's got great vision. He just knows where people are, and the more he plays with teammates, the better he'll get. There you just see him creating opportunities for his teammates. He runs the floor. He can finish. Right here, watch this. Wait, he's looking for the pick and roll here. Penetrates, can't find it, draws the help, and dishes. I mean, that's the whole package right there. If I had a telestrator with me or a reverse thing, right, Michael? I mean, it's hard to teach kids how to properly execute a pick and roll. That's how you do it. You probe off that screen, and he examined all the possibilities. Man, you got a head start with that kid.
Yeah, Mark has a good head, you know, for the game. And again, I first seen him a couple years ago. He was playing AAU with Philly Pride, and he was playing up. He was playing a year, you know, he's playing with the older kids. So again, he would have had, I think, way more recruitment had he played his age level, but he was playing up, and I don't think people realize that. And he was a catalyst on that team that won the national championship for that program. So I've been familiar with him. Again, I'm from Philadelphia. I'm familiar with the Interact, familiar with Penn Charter, familiar with Philly Pride because I've tried to recruit a bunch of their kids. You know, I know the guys who run that program. And Mark Butler came up under a guy, Eric Worley, who actually introduced me to basketball. So, and again, he's got great vision. He can handle the ball. He's a leader. And again, I told him that's what I'm looking for, you know.
One question, Mike, you know, again, it's a highlight film. We see a snippet. Your offense, I think the way you want guys that can score the ball a lot of different ways. And the way your offense runs, you're going to have some 3-point opportunities. I think all 5 guys, when you're at your best, all 5 guys are going to be required or have to be able to knock it down. Does Mark have that kind of range?
Yeah, the one thing that coming in is that he needs them. You know, I told him during the recruiting process, while I was recruiting him, I said, "Listen, you gotta improve on your jumper. You know that's the one thing. And again, that's just gym time because
Yeah, that's right.
his form is good, and he's just got to get more comfortable shooting it. And you know, I think this year, you know, his senior year, he's gonna shoot it more. You know, again,
Well,
he's a
it,
pass first facilitator, I think, which
yeah,
is what I like. But he can, you know, he can make an open jump shot.
yeah.
You know what I mean?
If he was
Again,
knocking down, and
if
if
you
he was
shoot
not
all good ones, you'll be fine.
exactly right, and if he was knocking down all threes right now, I'm not sure we get him. I mean, he does all those other things so well. If you add that right now, so let's add that when he gets here as a freshman.
Yeah, for
All right,
sure.
let's bring him in. We talked enough about him, and I'm sure it didn't hurt to have Mike McGarvey and Sean O'Brien on your staff, as those guys were Penn Charter guys, right?
Yeah. So you know they're happy and excited about that. We've done well on our staff with Penn Charter guys. So let's get a Penn Charter player up in here.
I knew he would come in there. He's so quick. He almost got biased there a little bit. 6 feet, a point guard.
6 feet, huh? 6
Early
feet.
on, it looked like, Mark, you were going to be a football player, but not big enough, or you just changed your mind?
I don't know. Like I said, like growing up, like I was always a better football player than I was basketball. But I don't know. In like the 6th or 7th grade, I felt that shift to where I don't know. I just started liking basketball more, and I started putting more time into it.
Before I get to
Me, huh?
basketball, I noticed that you spent your summer working for Urban Air Adventure Trampoline. Can you tell us a little bit about that experience, how you got that job, and what was your qualification for that job?
So basically, my parents said I needed to start working. I need to start spending my own money, and then I just put out like a bunch of applications. So like I put out one to Macy's, you know, like Pizza, something like that, and then Urban Air was like the first place to like get back in contact with me, and they were like, yeah, like coming for an interview, like you don't have to be experienced, anything like that. We just want to get to meet you. And I was like, all right, cool. Then the meeting happens, and then they're like, all right, you got the job. And I'm like, wait, what? Like
They're not all going to be that easy, Mark.
I know, yeah. On the spot, they're like, yeah, you got the job. And I was like, okay. And then it was a little tough because like I never like harnessed kids in before, like at a trampoline park. But you know, you do it for a little while, you get used to it, and you know, honestly, it was kind of an easy way to get a quick buck. So it was good.
Well, I think the easy part's over now. You're coming to Lafayette. Academics get much harder. And obviously, the coach can be very tough on basketball players, we've heard. I mean, we hear even in lunchtime hoops, he yells at people. And those guys are just out there trying to have a good time. What did coach say to you to convince you to come to Lafayette?
I think it was multiple things, really. With him being a smaller guard, he ingrained in me that he feels like he can make me a better point guard every day. And I know his resume a little bit. You know, he had a good, successful pro career, and he just tells me constantly like how he thinks he can make me a better player, and like that's all I needed to hear, honestly. But he wants me to become a better leader, things that I don't really think about. He thinks that he can help me with, and I believe in him, and I can't wait to get started.
I know you have a family that values education. Your dad's a social worker, your mom's in biotech. So I guess there was never any question about hitting the books as you were growing up.
No, and my dad's in OPC. For those who don't know, that's Old Penn Charter. So he went to Penn Charter as well, actually. And when I first made the transition to Penn Charter, it wasn't easy, but you know, they the staff, they're always willing to help, and eventually you go there for a long enough time, you just get it down, and then you know I put a lot of work into with the books, and eventually I got it down, and now I'm a pretty good student, I like to say.
Probably better than pretty good, or you wouldn't be going to Lafayette. You also might be able to get a job at Lafayette. I don't think they can pay you for this, but I hear you're a pretty good recruiter. Didn't you go out and get Josh Weitz to come to Lafayette also?
I tried to, you know, I would hit him up occasionally after I committed. It was like, yo, bro, like, you know what to do, like, you know where you want to come, stuff like that. And then he eventually made the right move, and I'm happy to be his teammate in the coming years.
Well, your direct quote, if I have the quote correct, I did a little research. your quote was, and if you said this to me, I wouldn't know what the heck you were talking about. But I hear you said to him, "Yo, bro, just slide." And that was telling him to go to Lafayette, I assume?
Yeah. So that's kind of my Philly slang in a sense. But basically that just means like, yo, fam, like, I really think we would have a good connection. I feel like, you know, it would be good to come in with a guy that like, you know, that I kind of know his game. Like we never played together, but like I know who he is through the Philadelphia basketball community. And I just felt like it would be good, like to have a teammate like Josh.
Yeah, I think you're absolutely right. You saw him in AAU, right? You played against each other.
Yes. So he plays for Kalo Elite and the rival Philly Pride.
Yeah.
So I didn't like him as much as I like him now. But yeah, I saw him 6'7" guy, can shoot the ball. I think we'll be really good teammates.
You're not just a basketball player. You're part of the Book Bag Drive member, your food drive member, share food program, highway cleanup program. I congratulate you on not just being a basketball player, being a good, solid student, and obviously being a good member of your community. That's important to you?
Yes. So one of my old AU coaches actually got me involved in community service. He goes by the name of Ibn Ingram, and he came from community growing up in North Philly, and he just loves to give back. And whenever he does something, he always hits me up. And he's like, "Yo, like come out." He doesn't like really like give me the option. Honestly, he's just like, "Yo, like come out," and I'm like, "All right, like what else do I have to do?" Like I love giving back too. So yeah, I'm glad he got me started with it, and I plan to keep doing that.
So he just says, "Yo, bro, just slide."
Basically,
And that's it, and you're in. Mike, I obviously see what you see in this young man. He sounds like a terrific addition to not only the basketball program, but also to Lafayette.
Yeah, I think he'll be a great addition to the Lafayette, you know, family, you know, as a whole, on and off the court. Very good kid, very good family. And again, he's about the right things. You know, all he wants to do is win and get better. You can't, you know, you get a squad full of those type of guys, the sky's the limit.
Amen.
Well, Mark, thanks so much for joining us. Have yourself a great senior season. Make sure that Penn Charter team plays as well as they always seem to do. And we really look forward to seeing you in September.
Definitely. Thank you guys for having me. I can't wait to get started, man. Thank you.
See you,
All
Mark.
right, that's Mark
All
right, Mark,
Butler.
we'll see you.
And now we turn our attention to Ashton Wallace. We've talked a little bit about Ashton. Actually, he will not graduate till 2029 at Lafayette because he's from Cedar Hills, Utah. And American Fork High School, they are the Cavemen. And they are, by the way, right now, the reigning Class 6A state champions. So, Mike, talk a little bit about Ashton, and then you and John will take a look at some of his highlights.
Yeah, again, Ashton came to camp, and again, he came to our elite camp, and he did a very good job, which, again, after seeing him at elite camp, I wanted to see more. So I went out to Section 7 out in Arizona, and I literally watched probably every game. You know, he was on my schedule to watch a few times, and it just so happened that he was playing a couple other guys that I had to watch out there, and was playing in adjacent courts next to the guy I was watching out there. So I would always peek over and see. And again, he's another kid that plays hard, you know, so I won't have to coach his effort. You know, he's going to give you everything that he has, and he can do a lot of different things, you know, similar to Josh, that, you know, that Mark was talking about. He can, you know, he can pass, he can dribble, he can shoot, he defends. So, and again, he's a good kid, he's a good quality kid. So, you know, I'm looking forward to having him be a part of our program.
You have to like his length too. 6'4", plays probably the number 2 guard position, but
Yep.
you have to
Combo
like that.
1-2. And again, the more guys you can have on the court that can shoot, pass, and dribble, I think the better your team is going to be.
All right, John, I think it's time to take a look at some of the highlights. Take us through them.
Yeah, well, I'll tell you, the first thing that jumps out at me, and I'm sure it did to you too, Coach, is there's no substitute for this. I mean, look at the footwork. He got himself ready all the time at 6'4". He's a guard that has great range. And not just that, he knows how to get himself open. If you watch him off the ball, he's constantly getting off the plane of the pass. Here you see him put it on the floor. You got to get up on him because he can shoot it. And even slow guys get quick when you can shoot the ball like Ashton. And this is a great play right here because, you know, how often do you see guys blow up a 2-on-1 break by making the bad decision? You go until you're defended. You go until you're stopped. There you see him get off the plane of the pass. You're going to see a better example of it a little bit later on when he gets out of the sight line of the defense. But yeah, listen, if you're playing this kid, you've got to pay attention. You got to know where he is. And because if you don't, he looks automatic. Now, obviously, a highlight film is not going to show you any misses. There you see him off the dribble. We've seen him catch and shoot, catch and shoot, catch and shoot. But his ability to put the ball on the floor and maybe create his own shot, and then again, just completely unselfish. Really like the way he feels the game. I didn't realize when I first watched the video, Coach, that he was 6'4". That adds a whole nother dimension to what he can bring to your team. So, again, the 2-year mission is only going to, and I'm sure Ashton can speak to this, is only going to add to his personal growth and development. Now you get a mature young man with that kind of skill set. Oh my goodness. I mean, let's see, I'm 70. Gary, we going to be around for this? I hope so, man. And I want to watch him play.
Well, I think we'll have to stay now. Ashton's a pretty great young man, so I think we have to stick around. All right, let's bring Ashton in. Let's chat with him a little bit, all the way from Utah, Cedar Hills, Utah, American Fork High School. Ashton, I mean, I have to start with your mother. Your mother is a single mother, raised you and four siblings, right? So
Yeah.
tell us about Mom. I mean, I think that's probably an important story to tell.
Yeah, so since like I was 8 or 10, like she got divorced, and she's just been raising us since. She's brought me to all my AU practices, been like my number one supporter, been there. I mean, it's just been like me and her and my siblings. Not too much involvement with my dad with basketball. I mean, he's obviously supported us, but I mean, not too much involvement other than that. Like, so she's been there through thick and thin, and just like I'm here because of her. When I wanted to quit, like I had a bad AU practice or a bad game, I wanted to quit. She just was like, keep going, like you got this, and kept me in it. So yeah.
Yeah, you always have to listen to moms. They do know what's best. That's for sure.
Yeah, for sure.
You come actually from an athletic family, right? A number of your siblings played sports. Some of your aunts and uncles played sports.
Yeah, so my dad's side is very athletic and tall. So I have 2 aunts on his side that played basketball, and then his brother that played basketball too in college. And then I have my sister who's finishing up her season at Salt Lake Community College for volleyball, and they just won their tournament, and they're going to the nationals right now in Missouri.
Pretty
Good luck.
competitive in the driveway.
Yeah, I mean, I help her out. She helps me out.
I
Yeah.
would think so.
Yeah.
Let's talk about your high school basketball team. As we mentioned earlier, they are the current 6A state champions of Utah. I mean, correct me if I'm wrong, but I did a little look into your basketball team. Is it true nobody on that team averages double figures?
Yeah, not really. We were so even last year, and I think that's what made us succeed. Is we didn't like have a number one guy. We just like looked to give the ball to. We all shared it with each other and trusted each other, and so that's why we were able to play so good together. At the end, and so yeah.
I know you're a religious kid. Does that mean you just share everything, including the ball?
Yeah, we try to for sure.
Let's talk a little bit about your religion. It obviously is going to take up the next 2 years of your life. Tell me a little bit about that, the thinking of going into that, and obviously giving up basketball for 2 years has to hurt a little bit.
Yeah.
How is that commitment arrived at?
Yeah, for sure. So it started with my older brother. He's 22 now. He went on a mission, and I really saw how it changed his life and how he grew, and so that really made me want to. And it's kind of a culture here in Utah to go and take 2 years to sacrifice and go spread our gospel, our religion. And so, I mean, I've seen all the blessings and what it can do for me. Obviously, people talk about kids being more mature and bringing that to a college team. Obviously, I thought about not being able to practice every day for 2 years or being in the weight room for 2 years, but it counteracts with the religious benefits, and being all that stuff. So yeah.
Do you know where your mission will be?
Not yet. So I've turned in my papers for that in probably the new year, like January, and so it goes to our presidency, and I'll be able to figure it out probably. I want to say like March, April.
Mike, I looked up some adjectives about this young man, and I came across words like energy, leadership, hard worker, coachable, looking to improve every day. You can't ask much more than that out of any player you recruit.
Absolutely not. I mean, those are all things that, again, that if you don't have to coach, you know what I mean? He has them, you know, he has those intangibles. So again, our job as coaches is to help him reach his potential, you know, not only on the court, but in the classroom and the community. And I'm sure because of his inner drive, it's going to make our jobs a lot easier.
You mentioned that you already have experience with players from the Church of Latter-day Saints. So this was not a tough decision for you by any stretch.
No, not a tough decision. Those guys are two of my favorite human beings on the planet. And again, we had a little bad luck with those guys. There's some injuries, some freak injuries with those two guys. So I'm hoping to break that curse of coaching a kid, you know, a Mormon kid. But again, those guys are great guys, and still keep in contact with them to this day. Two of my favorite players that I ever coached. So again, I assume, you know, I would assume, you know, Ashton would be the same way. I'm just, you know, hoping he stays healthy.
Yeah, wherever they send you, Ashton, make sure you stay healthy. I know you coach some little league basketball. Some of those kids, you coach kids with disabilities. You really sound like a terrific young man.
Thank you. Yeah. So my coach does a thing every year where he brings in kids with disabilities, and we're able to help them out just with the sports and being around them and helping them and feeling like they're a part of our team for the day, you know. And then I've been able to, I do like summer refereeing for Little League, and I get to just be around those kids and see just how they don't care too much. They just have fun. And that's what I try to get back to when I'm playing basketball, just having fun. That's what it's all about sometimes. And so I love being around kids for sure.
Do you have the nucleus to defend your title this year?
Yeah, I think so. I mean, we got some competition for sure, but we got size this year, and we got talent. We got a lot of talent. So I'm excited for it. And I always think I can. So.
Well, I hate the fact that we have to wait 2.5 years or whatever to finally get you here on campus. We can't wait for your arrival. Have yourself a great season. Have a great 2 years on your mission. I know you'll certainly take that experience to heart, and we'll see you in a couple of years.
Thank you so much.
Okay, that is Ashton Wallace, recruit number 2 for Mike Jordan's true first recruiting class. And Mike, now we go back to Philadelphia. We go back to Josh White, a 6'8" swingman. So you got good size there.
6'8". These guys, man.
He's not
6'2". I'm 6'2" now. All right. From now on, I'm 6'2". He's 6'8". I'm 6'2" from here on out.
Yeah.
Well, I saw 6'6" on one paper report, and then I saw 6'8". I figured I'd make him 6'8". It already would make him better. Tell us a little bit about Josh and whether you had to do any recruiting or if Mark did it all for you.
I think I did most of the heavy lifting. You know, Mark came in at the end. But no, Josh, again, is a kid that I actually was recruiting when I was at Drexel. And I kept tabs on him when I went back to Colgate. And then I got the head coaching job here, and he was still available.
So, John, I know you want to take a look at his highlights because he is a highlight reel for sure.
Well, listen, if he's 6'8", that changes everything. I hope you are 6'8", Josh, because with this kind of ball skills at 6'8", holy mackerel, we're in for a treat. But again, I just love the completeness of the game. Fundamentally sound, shoots it off the dribble, gets to the rim. You saw the explosion on on the strong finish. And that's just a great pass right there. I love when people can just drop it on the floor, a subtle, quick pass that helps their teammate with an easy shot. There you see him using some strength around the basket. Josh, you'll find that, when you get to this level, there's a little more time in the weight room. Everything's a little more sophisticated in terms of your strength and conditioning. And again, the agility and the skill set is there. It's just a matter of adding a little bit of strength to that game is the sky's kind of the limit. So we're excited about it. I mean, earlier on, Mike, you and I were talking a little bit about, wanting to be a little more physical, a little more athletic in the front court. And certainly Josh seems to bring that to the table. I really like his game.
Yeah, Josh is very versatile. As I was saying earlier before I got kicked off the internet, but he's very versatile. Again, he's been a guard for the majority of his life. And I plan on using him as a 1, 2, 3, 4. When we go with our bunch of guys that are 6'5", 6'6", 6'7", 6'8", and switch everything. So again, when you can get a guy like Josh that's 6'8", and that can pass, dribble, and shoot. And you know what I mean? It only helps your team, and it allows you to do a lot of different things with the lineups.
Well, I'm watching Josh, and it conjures up the memories, and you know them very well, of those great Penn teams. And I go way back to Ira Bowman and those guys, but they had wing people that were, they were perimeter people, long and strong, and could shoot, and it was just they're dynamic. Those were the great years when Dumpf and I think Fran was there at the time, when they just dominated. So I kind of get the sense that maybe we're trending that way, and boy, that would be a good thing. And Josh is a great start.
Yeah, for sure. I'm looking forward to it. And again, he's been coached hard. Kyle Sample, I know him personally, and I know how he coaches. So he'll be fine. He can handle me. If he can play for Kyle, he can play for me.
You got Josh, welcome to National Signing Day. Congratulations. Or in order, you are the first Division I recruit from your high school, Cristo Rey, to play Division I basketball, right?
Yes.
We joked a little bit about your size, but you did have a growth spurt, right? I mean, you were a 6'1" point guard, and no coach likes anything better than to have a point guard become a forward, because they are great basketball players normally, because they know what to do with the basketball. So you did have a growth spurt. Let's clarify exactly how tall you are.
How tall I was?
Well, 6'1", right?
Yeah, I was. And then throughout the years, probably about 2-3 years, once I hit my junior year, I was about 6'4", 6'5", and now I'm about 6'6", 6'7". I am,
Michael, coach.
I really am though, 6'6", 6'7".
Joshua, when you lie, you shouldn't laugh like that.
I don't know who put 6'8", honestly. I don't know.
Hey, Josh, the whole deal is I play 6'8".
There you go.
I play 6'8". No matter how tall you are.
That's right. That's right. That's exactly all that matters, is how big do you play?
Let's talk about some of the hard luck that you encountered. You come over from Harrington High School, you follow your coach. Let's talk first of all about, why did you follow that coach? He must be special in your life.
He definitely is. He was he is current. Well, this past summer he was my Kalo coach. But just like going into his coaching characteristics, tough love, which I see in Coach Mike. And then I just feel like a sense of like family when I'm around him. Like whenever he's coaching me, or just when I'm on and off the court, it's just like it's tough love, and it's something that I appreciate.
You come over to Cristo Rey with tremendous expectations, and 3 games into your season, you break your ankle.
Yep.
How difficult was that on your psyche? Anybody that loves the game of basketball just can't stand not playing. So how tough was it?
It was very tough. It took a big mental toll on me, and it was it was hard to get back, but throughout my injury, I was just like, I was trying to get back involved, just being on the sideline with my team, being like a third or however many coaches, a third coach on the bench and in practices. So like that still had me into it. It was tough watching about 20, 25 games, but it was definitely something. But I felt like that setback just led to a better comeback.
I know you had an offer from Robert Morris. How did you link up with Coach Jordan? And then he obviously offered you.
Like he said before, he was recruiting me when he was at Drexel and Colgate. And then a team camp in June, I believe, during high school. He did come out. He saw, we talked. He had me come up. He offered, and then he had me come up to campus as well, which is when I decided to commit. So it was a pretty short recruitment, I would say.
What was the reaction at home when you got the offer?
A lot of excitement, especially being that it's in Pennsylvania. My mom wanted me to stay close, so it was good. It was good.
I know you go to a high school that obviously focuses on books, focuses on academics. Another congratulations may be in order. I hear you're very close to being the class valedictorian. I know you carry a 4.2, 4.3 grade point average. Amazing credentials, not just as a basketball player, but also as a student. All of those things you obviously are going to need when you come to Lafayette College. But I assume you're ready for it.
Yes.
That was quick. It's good to hear.
Being that the curriculum here is a bit difficult, just being able to stay on top of my work, stay on top of my books, taking AP classes, I do believe that I am ready to take on the education at Lafayette.
Tell us a little bit about your family.
So my mom, she is a single mom. I live with her. She is a special education teacher at an elementary school. My brother, I believe he's 26. He played basketball. When I was younger, I always used to be at his games and tournaments, just traveling around, which is where I kind of like picked up my love for basketball as well. He went to LaSalle College High School, and then he went on to play at Goldie Beacom College. His college career was brought short due to his heart issues, but
oh wow,
I was able to follow his career, and I will bring on his dreams of playing college basketball.
So besides basketball, what do you do for fun?
Hang out with friends. Basketball kind of is my lifestyle at this point, but when I do get free time, usually just hanging out with friends. Most of the time it is my basketball friends, but yeah, that's pretty much it. School, friends, basketball. That's about it.
Nothing wrong with that, Mike.
Mm-hmm.
Absolutely, it's all you need, man. Your books and basketball, and then your group of friends. You know what I mean? That's all you need.
Mike, you must get double satisfaction, Mike, out of going back to Philly, where you are adored as a basketball player and as a person, and seeing all your old friends, and yet being able to draw some young men out of Philadelphia and get them to Lafayette.
Yeah, like Josh said and Mark said, we're in a pretty unique location. To whereas we're kind of an hour outside of Philly, an hour some change from maybe New York, an hour from certain parts of New Jersey. Delaware is not that far away. So I think again, Lafayette College is positioned in a spot where we're attractive to those kids, to Mark and to Josh, that I necessarily probably couldn't get at other places. But the fact that we're an hour away, and it's not that far, it's a hop, skip, and jump away from Philadelphia, that we can get them up here. And again, it's Mark and Josh's job now to get their friends to want to come play with them. So,
I was just going to say the same thing.
Josh has a teammate, that he should be working on to come up here and play with us, D Booker, you know what I mean? So Josh got his work. He's got work to do. That would be a job already. He's got a job already.
Yeah.
And I think that's what it's all about. You go and you recruit good kids that are good players. that care about academics, and then have them have a great experience to where they want to come, where they want to tell their friends, hey, you should come want to be a part of this.
Josh, valedictorian 4.2. How do you do that? I had a 4.2, but it took me it was my junior year because it was 2.1 my freshman year, 2.1 my sophomore year. And I figured, but they don't add them up that way. So a 4.2, you're valedictorian. Have you given any thought to what you might want to pursue here academically, or is that still an open book?
That's still an open book. Pretty undecided about that. Not sure yet.
Okay. Sometimes that's the best answer, because one of the strengths of this place is it's a small private liberal arts college. They don't have to plug you into a major right away, but make sure you're not passive about it. Just come here and take a bite out of everything. Try some things you haven't tried before, because if you've got that kind of intellectual ability, it's the same thing as being 6'8" with skills or 6'6" with skills. You can't just expect the game to come to you. You have to chase it. So you come here academically. One of the strengths of this place is that you can get there from here. Whatever it may be out there and you don't even know it yet, but you're not going to find it by sitting. What was the phrase coming up here? Fly. What was it, Gary?
I was just going to get to that. Josh, obviously coach wants somebody else that's on your team to come to Lafayette. So as you're having a great senior year, and we wish you the best, make sure you go to your teammate, yo bro, just slide.
Yo bro, just fly.
All right? Yo bro, just slide. That will get him into the program.
Okay.
And when you get up here, I'll make that part of every one of our broadcasts so that everybody understands where you're coming from.
Love it.
All right, that's going to do it for tonight. This has been the National Signing Day. My thanks, of course, to head coach Mike Jordan, to John Leone, to the players, Ashton, Mark, and Josh. And we look forward in a couple of weeks. Coach Jordan is going to have to face his Penn team at home. That's our first men's home game. In fact, it's 2 weeks from tonight. So make sure you tune in. That's a basketball doubleheader, something we haven't had in a long time at Lafayette.
Yeah, buddy.
The women play first and then the men. So
Throwback.
guys, thank you
Great.
very
It's going to
much.
be a great day.
All right, Mike, get back to work. John, get back to the couch.
You got it.
That's it.
Thanks, guys.
Thank
Thanks
you for
having
watching,
me.
everybody.
Yeah, Michael.
Good night.
All right.